resource weekly in the paper. We've got communications. We've got, our council meetings are online. We're going to go hopefully across the street to a new venue for our council chamber, which we are proposing possibly to do live streaming of our council meetings. We should have better acoustics, better sound systems. I'm sure that's probably 80–90% of the issues that come out of our council meetings is that people can't hear what's being said. But having said that, I guess if the big people that are sitting in the audience want it better in the survey, then I guess we'll put it in the survey.
I guess when it was talked about through the ad hoc and do this, it was talked about similar to the survey that was done with the time frame, with the waste management.
We could use that information.
I think that the other thing that's going to happen too is with this economic development task force. I think this is going to be one of the things that will also come out. I think it's a great idea to do a survey. Since we've started in 2010 in December, we've heard about communication. So let's do it.
Thanks.
Timelines on this, I think it's something that we want to do it, we want to do it right. Take the time. We'll get a report and come back to it. All in favor of that? Carried. New business?
I don't know if it's really new business, but I was wondering, like, there was talk earlier about the ad hoc committee report coming back to Tuesday so that we can discuss it. So I'm wondering if we could bring that back to the next Tuesday as part of our agenda. I'm not sure what all the agenda is now, but if we could bring it back and have some discussion on it.
I have asked the clerk and Dr. John will set it next Tuesday. I think there's a notice out of the council. Strategic planning being our topic for Tuesday. Just strategic planning, so maybe that involves with bringing back to strategic planning.
Can we add it onto the agenda for the next Monday?
I think it's great suggestion, and I think it does fit with strategic planning because it does relate to a lot of the things that we've been discussing that are pertinent to this council, and I would like to see it sooner rather than later. And we are dealing with timeframes with the working group, and it could have implications with the working groups. So if we can do it on Tuesday, I'd strongly recommend it on Tuesday. So are you making a motion? And
well, I was mentioning it at first. I can make it a motion, but I think that we need to spend some time on it. We have 2.5 hours that day, and we have put strategic planning off and off and off, and yes, we do need to do it. So we could split that. We could make it an hour and 15 minutes each if we need, or an hour and a half for the first, and then move into this ad hoc committee report.
We've added 3 things to strategic planning already. At least 3 or 4. Councilor Martin.
I guess on a point of clarification, so I agree with you, it is emergent. This working group has now. But I guess what I'm confused about, when we talk about strategic planning, are we going to do more exercise about strategic planning, or are we going to discuss issues that pertain to strategic planning? If that's the case, we should be having agendas ahead of time, where we submit items for discussion, and then it's decided what day. This is a huge issue. It's a multi-million-dollar potential project that is controversial, and to squeeze it into an hour discussion to me is absurd. This is the most emergent issue in this municipality right now. There are millions of dollars riding on this discussion. So I think you got to have it. And you got to give direction to this working group that says, here we are, we're going to do our due diligence. We've already spent millions on the darn thing, and there's still any questions. So if you want to get into strategic planning, it should be agenda-based, and we should be submitting it to the CAO or whatever ahead of time.
We have those. We have that. That was submitted at our last strategic planning meeting.
Tell me what we're discussing Tuesday.
They prioritize of the items that we've identified as issues that we need to deal with.
Is a $50 million project a priority for this municipality?
Fair comment.
No.
Councilor,
no, I mean,
we received this how many months ago? And agreed that we move forward with the discussion based on this matrix. And we can submit additional things, we cannot, I mean, this is a year and a half overdue.
There's lots of things that are overdue.
And we need to be doing it. Yes, I agree, this is also a huge discussion, but, I mean, we can
Can we start an hour earlier?
Councillor Underwood.
I think we've got to be very careful between thinking about what strategic planning is as a whole of the council and what is strategically important as an issue, right? So we're talking about one issue which is super important right now because it's urgent and important. That has to be dealt with. Is that strategic in nature? Well, it probably was some time ago, and it's another discussion. We're talking about the sewage system for Lambton Shores, which is not just Grandin. That will be Grandin, Arcona, Thetford, Forest, Portlands.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a different discussion versus one facility. Completely different. It's part of a strategic plan, but it's not our strategic planning thing. That's what I'm saying. So, but we have to, obviously, there's a time constraint when it comes to this issue. June 19th, so maybe it's a good idea to bring it up there. And I hate to say it, but we'll get to the strategic plan when we can. Because as long as we have urgent, important issues like this coming up, we're not going to be able to move very far in our strategic planning, which we have to do. But we've just got to be very disciplined when it comes to what we have our meetings for. So if we keep kicking stuff out of our meetings for other things or other
Maybe we need
individual
another
issues,
time.
then we're never going to get to it. And we have to understand that. We have to make time for the strategic plan and be firm in it. If this is emergent, that's something.
Mr. Scott.
I'd like to make a motion that next Tuesday is spent on the ad hoc committee report.
Good. Second. Let it done.
Discussion on that? Councillor Russell.
I think we listened to what the person that we asked to do our strategic planning overview, he just gave us kind of a quick overview of what we were going to do. Whether we put an individual issue like that or three resolutions, I made a motion for earlier. We're trying to get a direction, and it's a strategic direction, but for strategic planning, it has to be exactly what he said. We have to just take that as a block of time and go through those, what do you call that thing? You guys need word there.
The
It's like
matrix.
the movie.
Thank you, Carmen.
Thanks.
Yeah, Keenan, okay, so it's a Keenan thing. So, I think we have to be, as Marty says, we have to go like this and get the program done. But there are strategic issues that have to be dealt with, and they have to be dealt with in a strategic way as well. And I think sometimes because we don't have it completed, we're not using it as a strategic plan framework, so we're not referring things to strategic planning. So for example, we could have Tuesday strategic planning meetings where we would be strategic, and we would say, oh, that action we're gonna talk about. But because we don't have it, we don't do that. So we're just catch 22.
We're losing sight of the horizon.
Yes, exactly. Let's get on.
Come on.
Here's an option. In respect to what you're saying, Councilor Underwood, you're absolutely 100% correct. And your suggestion, maybe we make the June 22nd, what would have been a regular council meeting, maybe we make it a discussion on this issue. It's too late, isn't it? Past
Too late,
19th.
19th is the, that's the thing with the time constraints.
But I agree with what you're saying, but there are strategic issues, and I think Councilor Russell hit through. So on this one, I agree with the time frame. I'm going to support the motion.
Okay. All in favor of the motion? Hold on. Opposed? Motion's carried. I guess we don't do strategic planning again.
I know, it stops.
That's why
We've got to get
Sorry.
on this issue.
Council reports. New business? Any other new business?
Talk about your operation.
Councilor Russell.
Stop getting up and went back
I
down.
was gonna do a Lyndon Johnson, right?
No.
Do a Lyndon Johnson.
He said
Did you want to see the
he said
decision?
your doctor gave up and went back to Kenya.